After school, you studied at Trinity College of Music in London, which is based in the fabulous Old Royal Naval College in Greenwich. Give us the highlights of your time there.
Well, I auditioned before I went to Trinity. I auditioned for a choral scholarship, not completely really knowing what it was, but people had said to me, "Oh, well, this is a good idea," and it really was. And as you said, it's an absolutely stunning venue. It's it's incredible there, and I became a choral scholar at the Old Royal Naval Chapel, and I was a choral scholar for a couple of years. So you'd rehearse twice a week and you'd sing on the Sunday, and it was just such a good grounding in choral music, because you're doing different music every week. So your sight reading inevitably improves, and you get used to singing with a group of people and really listening to each other. And my first sort of Holy Week experience was there. All of the services that are involved, and yeah, so that was really important. Led to some friendships as well. I also joined Trinity College of Music Chamber Choir, which was conducted by Stephen Jackson, still is, who also for many years conducted the BBC Symphony Chorus. And Stephen has become a good friend of mine. We're still friends now, and he's helped me a lot, in fact, with my conducting over the years. But that was just fabulous to be part of. I was in that from my second year. I didn't get in my first year, and Stephen always denies that and says he can't believe that, but I didn't. My first year was a bit of a weird one at Trinity. I wasn't quite myself, but from my second year, I was there. Second, third, and fourth year, I was in the choir, and one of the amazing things that I got to do in my final year was sing in the proms. Do a solo in an a cappella prom that Stephen conducted of Daniel Lesueur's Cantique des Cantiques, and the BBC Symphony Chorus were there as well, which I also sang with for a brief time before Trinity. And my dad sang with them at the time and still sings with the BBC Symphony Chorus. So it's very lovely to have that experience, and he was there, and to get to perform this solo at such a young age as well. I didn't take that for granted at all. It was terrifying, but it was wonderful. And also getting to sing my final recital in the Old Royal Naval College Chapel was just absolutely incredible. You never forget something like that, being able to do your final performance somewhere like that. So yeah, I guess those are the highlights.
How did you start out as a choral conductor? And who were your role models?
Well, I have to be honest and say that I very much started out by accident. I guess a lot of people start out by accident, but I hadn't planned to do conducting. I'd never really done any conducting, and I was teaching at Bird College Music Service, which is the Bexley Music Service essentially, where I had studied, and I'd studied all my lessons there and gone away, and then come back and started off there as a singing teacher, and then picked up more and more singing teaching. And I went for this job as vocal coordinator, which was a new role. The government had brought in this thing where you needed to have a vocal strategy in the music hubs. And what I was really confident with was teaching kids and leading singing workshops and singing assemblies and school choirs. But as part of the role, they offered me the job, and then they also offered me the adult choir. And their conductor, Leslie Cooper, had been with them for 30 odd years, I think, and she'd left. And they said, we really think you've got the transferable skills to take on the choir. And I said, no, I don't think I do. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to employ somebody else for that bit? And they said, no, we really think you should do it. And it was a baptism of fire. And I remember being completely terrified before my first rehearsal. And I only had to conduct something like a 3-part arrangement of The Circle of Life, which now I don't think would trouble me too much. But it was totally in at the deep end. I didn't have any training for it, and I was sort of supported through my first half rehearsal, and then it was like, yeah, okay, you're fine, off you go. So that was it really, and the rest, as they say, is history. And I'm obviously very grateful now to have had that opportunity, but at the time I had no confidence in conducting at all, and I still sometimes have a bit of imposter syndrome because I've never done formal conducting training as such. In terms of role models for conducting, I mean, Stephen Jackson will always be an inspiration as a conductor and as a musician, and his attention to detail is second to none. But in terms of someone that I really admire for her ability to to get an amazing sound out of people and to bring out the best in the singers is Hilary Campbell, who conducts Blossom Street, which is a professional choir I sing with, London-based chamber choir, and we've done various recordings over the years. And with her, you always feel safe and secure. And I've taken a lot of my inspiration from her as how she conducts. And then I already mentioned Will Michael. He will always have been a massive inspiration to me. In terms of general role models, it's a lot more to do with friends and family, actually. And I suppose recent role model would be my friend Alex Patterson, who's one of my best friends and also director of music at the Cathedral, Nottingham Cathedral, where I'm assistant director of music. And I'm just continually inspired by the way that he brings out the best in people and the way that he leads. So yeah, that's about it, really.
And he's just leaving Nottingham. It would be a great loss.
He is, yes, yeah, and absolutely, couldn't agree more. I'll have to be doing lots of visits to Manchester, but he leaves in a couple of months, actually, yeah.
So tell us about your second record.
So my second record is Ella Fitzgerald's The Very Thought of You, her version. It was difficult to pick this one in that I had to have some Ella in there because one of my loveliest memories is of driving holidays through France when I was quite little, because my parents were still together, and we'd go on holidays with my mum's parents and we'd drive to France. And I remember it was always Elton John love songs or Ella Fitzgerald, and there were these three tapes. There was Forever Ella, Essential Ella, and Incomparable Ella. And I know these songs like the back of my hand, and I know everything that she does with the song and how the big band parts go. And it was so hard to choose just one, because I listen to them all the time, and actually in this lockdown situation, I've gone back to Ella and listened to a lot of Ella Fitzgerald whilst cooking in my kitchen. So I love this one. There are so many that I love, but this is one of the ones that moves me the most, I guess.
But I heard Ella Fitzgerald sing live when I was an undergraduate with Oscar Peterson's trio.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness!
Fabulous.
Yeah, she's just I can't. Her voice moves me so much, and I just think it's so beautiful and so perfect. And also the big band writing for those arrangements is absolutely unbelievable. There's nothing quite like a big band that's just so together, and it's very, very exciting to listen to.